Hello guys, how are you? I hope you're having a nice day today. Out here where I live at, we are getting so much rain. I hope you guys are safe where you are. I am, of course, back with another ghost story. And, like I told you in the last video, I got my little friend here. She is going to help me tell this story. Okay. So, now this happened at the Cottage Grove house. I already have a series on my channel for real life ghost stories, the Cottage Grove house. And this happened in the late 1960s. Now, like I've said in other stories, ghost stories, the time I lived in, which was in the 1960s, in the area I lived in, there was a lot going on there. Inside and outside. Now, I don't know if other people in the neighborhood was experiencing the same things that we were experiencing where in the apartment building we lived in, but I do know that there were certain things happening outside as well. Now, inside this building, because see, keep in mind, the new owners turned this place into a 3-flat apartment building. The family that lived and owned the building before, it was considered a mansion. So it was one home, brownstone. But after the new owners bought the property, they turned it into 3 separate apartments, and then it had a full basement. Now, this house or apartment building, it was straight out from the movies. It was hell living in that place, but at the time my mom couldn't afford anything else, so we had to stay there. Luckily, my mom knew certain things to do to kind of help us out until we could get out of that place. There was a lot of stuff going on inside that apartment that we lived in. In one of my past ghost stories, I talk about the eyes that follow you. You can check out that ghost story. It's in the Real Ghost Stories documentary playlist. I mean, anything that you put on the wall, any type of picture. We had a picture of my aunt and a few other pictures, and those eyes, I mean, if you walk past the picture, it followed you as well. But I'm not going to tell you any more about that story because I really want you to watch it. I want you to watch the video. But also, this place was so evil. People couldn't live there. If you wanted to survive, you had to move out. All those that did not move out, they ended up perishing, if you know what I mean. But anyway, one of the instances that happened in this apartment, and like I said in one of my past videos, the apartments were set up like shotgun. Once you came through the front door, you could see all the way to the back. The back wall was windows, and then there was the back door. And the living room, when you first come through the door, there was the living room and dining room that was on one of the walls, and the kitchen shared part of the wall, and then on opposite wall was the 3 bedrooms. Now, at night you could always hear creaking sounds and people walking around, and you could hear objects moving around, different things moving around. And my mom, since we were kids and my oldest brother had to go to school, she would always have us go to bed at a certain time. And she would always stay up later, and I was afraid. My brother and I, my twin brother and I, we shared a bedroom. My oldest brother had his own bedroom. My dad slept in a bedroom. My mom never liked sleeping in bedrooms. She liked open spaces. And maybe because I'll tell you some more ghost stories that happened with just my mom when she was a kid, and it could explain why she never liked to sleep in closed rooms. She always liked open rooms. Hey, do I have something to tell you? All right, guys, it is story time. Fictional to reality, real life events, things that I experienced because I was there. From ghosts to spirits, witches to witchcraft, hoodoo to voodoo, devils and demons. If you believe in these things, even if you don't, check out the videos. Like, comment, subscribe, and share. Join my friend and I in telling these stories. They're all in a playlist. And so she slept in, it would have been considered the dining room because it was right next to the kitchen. But my mom had a sofa in there, and that's where she slept. And I would always sit up with her because I was afraid, even with my twin brother being in the same room as me, I was always afraid to sleep in there. Now, my twin brother, he was not really that afraid. I was a chicken in the family. My oldest brother was kind of not so much afraid. My dad, he didn't experience anything, but he still trusted if my mom told him something. But my mom could see things. My twin brother and my oldest brother could see things I couldn't see. If there was something moving around, I could see that, but as far as spirits or ghosts or whatever, I couldn't see those. So I would stay in the room with my mom at night as long as I could, and then she would finally take me into the room with my twin brother and put me to bed. Sometimes she let me sleep out there on the sofa with her because we had some of that old furniture where the sofa was extremely long. But anyway, my mom would tell my oldest brother to go to bed a certain time at night. Now my twin brother, he would go in and he would go to sleep right away. But my mom and I would notice that there would be a lot of carrying on and talking and sounded like playing and stuff in my oldest brother's room. So the next day, when we was sitting at the table eating breakfast, my mom had mentioned to my oldest brother, she said, I told you, not to stay up past a certain time. You have to go to school in the morning and you need to get enough sleep. So my brother looked at my mom really strange, and my mom told him, she said, I heard you playing and talking and stuff in the room. And I told you, you can only stay up later when it's on the weekends, like Friday night and Saturday night, but Sunday through Thursday, you have to go to bed at a certain time. So my brother was trying to explain to my mom that he wasn't up playing, that he was actually in the bed. So my mom asked him, said, well, if you were in the bed, then what's all that noise I hear, coming from your room? My brother, oldest brother, just hunched his shoulders and he didn't really say anything. So my mom didn't really question it anymore, but when the night came around again, she did mention it to him again. She said, I don't want to hear any noise coming out of this room. When I turn the light out, I want you to go to sleep. So my oldest brother said, yes, ma'am. Now, we had a lot of different toys and stuff that was around. Somebody gave my mom 2 of those. Some of you guys might remember this. It's around my age. The riding horses that you could sit on top and bounce up and down and pretend like you're riding. So we had 2 of those. We had a big one, which my brother liked to play on that. And then we had a smaller one, which my oldest brother liked to play on the big one. And my twin brother and I, we would sometimes share the smaller one. And then if my oldest brother wasn't playing on the big one, my twin brother would take the big one, and I was always stuck with the smaller one. So, and my mom, for Christmas, she would get us different toys and dolls. And, well, me, not the boys, just me, dolls and stuff. And so we would always have nice Christmases, and then some of my mom's friends would give her different stuff that we would have in the house. So we had a lot of different stuff in the house. Well, anyway, getting back to the story. So when the nighttime came around, my mom told my oldest brother again. She said, when I put you in this room and turn the light out, she said, I want you to go to sleep. I don't want to hear any noise coming out of this room. And my brother said again, yes, ma'am. Well, I didn't want to go in my room because I started having an eerie feeling. It didn't take that much to give me chills and everything. So I knew I would be safe with my mom. So she would always let me sit up with her until I got really sleepy. And like I said, she would either take me in the room with my twin brother, or she would let me sleep on the sofa with her. And the same thing happened. A certain time at night, around 9 o'clock, maybe between 9 and 10 or so forth, my mom and I, we heard the noise again. And so this time, my mom got up, and when she walked over to the room and opened the door, everything was quiet. But she noticed my oldest brother was holding the covers up like this, like underneath his chin. And when she opened the door, he turned his head and he looked at her, and she said, I told you to go to sleep. And so my oldest brother didn't say anything. My mom closed the door back and came back and sat on the couch, and we was watching, her and I was watching TV. And we didn't hear any more noise. So the third night, the same thing happened. And of course, my mom went through the same routine again. You know, she got up. This time I got up with her, and we walked over to the room. And as soon as we got to the room, before my mom could open the door, It was quiet, and my mom opened the door again. She peeked in, I peeked in. My oldest brother was still laying in the bed, and he turned his head and he looked at her. And she said, "I'm not going to tell you again that if it's on a school night, you can't be staying up late. You need to go to bed." She said, "Now, if I have to tell you again," she said, "you're going to get a whooping. You're going to be in big trouble." So my oldest brother didn't say anything. And the next night, around the same time, my mom and I heard tussling and stuff in the room again. So this time my mom looked at me and she did just like this. She said, and she whispered to me, she said, "I'm going to sneak up on him this time. He thinks he's so slick, you know, when he hear me walking," because my mom used a crutch. And so because she was a left leg amputee, she lost her left leg at the age of 3. So there was hardwood floors, so you could hear the tip of the crutch hitting the floor. So when my mom did like this and she looked at me and she said, "I'm going to catch him," really low, like a whisper. She said, "I'm going to catch him this time. See, he thinks he's so slick. You know, when he hears me coming, then he stops playing and he acts like, when you open the door, he acts like he's never moved from that spot in the bed." She said, "This time I'm going to catch him, and when I catch him," she said, "he's going to get a whooping." So both of us got up really slow and we started like softly walking toward the door, and you could still hear the noise and the clattering and squeaking, and sounded like arguing and everything. And my mom, when we got to the door, she grabbed the doorknob real slow and easy, and she turned the doorknob and pushed it open really quick and said, "I told you." And when I looked around her, the toys on the floor was moving around, and this monkey that my mom got my oldest brother and a clown was fighting. And then my mom finished the sentence. She said, "Go to sleep." And we looked, and I guess my mom opened the door so fast until whatever that was happening in there didn't notice it at the time. But like maybe 2.5 seconds later, then it all stopped. And all the toys stopped moving, and the clown and the monkey fell to the floor. So my mom looked at my oldest brother and she says, "What's going on in here?" And so that's when my oldest brother started telling her, "This is what you're hearing at night." He said, when I get in this bed," he said, "I stays in the bed. I don't move." And he said, a certain time at night, he said, the toys start fighting. And the clown, he said, the clown is always trying to climb on top of the bed. And the monkey starts fighting with the clown. Now, guys, if I hadn't seen this with my own eyes, I wouldn't have believed it. if my brother had mentioned it first, if my oldest brother had mentioned it first as to what was going on, what he was experiencing, I would have never believed it. I may have been curious wanting to see it, but it wouldn't have been like, oh, I believe everything you say. I believe you. I believe you. So my mom had him come out of the room, and she also went and got my twin brother out of the room that he was in, and she had us sleep in the dining room with her. So all three of us, all four of us was in the dining room with her. She didn't bother my dad. You know, it's a funny thing about my dad. My dad believed in spirits and everything, but he wasn't really bothered by them. And I think that's the reason why they didn't target him like they targeted us in that place. So the next day, my mom, when we were sitting at the table having breakfast, my mom told my oldest brother that she was going to pack up all the toys and take them downstairs to the basement. So my oldest brother asked my mom, said, well, leave the monkey in the room on the bed. He said, because the monkey was fighting for me to keep the clown from climbing on top of the bed. So my mom said okay, and she packed up the rest of the toys and stuff when my oldest brother was at school, and she put it in a box and folded the box up. We didn't have any tape or anything, but she took all the toys and took them downstairs to the basement. Hey, do I have something to tell you? All right, guys, it is story time. Fictional to reality, real life events, things that I experienced because I was there. From ghosts to spirits, witches to witchcraft, hoodoo to voodoo, devils and demons. If you believe in these things, even if you don't, check out the videos. Like, comment, subscribe, and share. Join my friend and I in telling these stories. They're all in a playlist. So after that, nothing like that ever happened again. Now, guys, that is the end of the story. If any of you that come across this video or any of my ghost stories, if you have experienced anything weird, or your parents have experienced anything weird, or friends or whatever, please leave it in the comment section below. And also let me know in the comment section, if you experienced something like that, would you try to stay in the apartment anyway, try to clean the apartment out of evil spirits or whatever? Or would you try to move? Because I'm telling you guys, this place was pure hell. And as you continue to listen to the stories, I will eventually get to the part where it all started from. All right, guys. My friend, little friend here was good today. And she was okay as usual. And as always, she'll be back with me to tell another ghost story. So let's work together to live better. And always, thank you for watching. And guys, don't forget to please leave a thumbs up, like the video, share the video if you know anybody that like real life ghost stories. And please join me again when I'm back here in front of the camera telling another one. Bye for now.